Something happened at Brown's training camp that didn't start in the stat sheets. It started in a handshake and exploded across social feeds. A short, slow dap between a veteran star and a visiting rookie turned a routine practice drill into a headline. And suddenly, people who never cared about OTAs were watching every clip on repeat. It wasn't flashy plays or a long touchdown. It was the look on the veterans' faces, a mix of respect, curiosity, and that rare kind of approval pros only give when they sense something real. That moment did two things at once. It made fans dream about a future overnight, and it forced executives to take notes they can't ignore. Training camp is usually a slow calendar of reps, evaluations, and careful language. This was different. Optics met tape, and the tape backed up enough of the optics. What makes it dangerous and magnetic is the mix. A quarterback who already carries a built brand and highlight reels showing college-level dominance, stepping into a pro environment and moving like he belongs. Veterans didn't just offer a polite handshake. Their body language read like a public nod of confidence, and once that was out there, social media did the rest. Mock-ups, hype reels, hot takes, and 1,000 what-if threads. For a franchise famous for quarterback roulette, one viral moment can become a pressure cooker. Fans demand action, rivals smell opportunity, and the team's front office suddenly has a visibly ticking narrative clock. This isn't a guarantee of greatness. Practice moments are small samples, and translation to regular season resilience is never certain. But when leaders in the room react the way they did, it forces questions the club can no longer punt. Develop fast, trade hard, or watch someone else seize the moment. And in a league that now moves as much on momentum and media as on metrics, a single handshake can accelerate a career or accelerate a crisis. Which will it be for Cleveland? Shedeur Sanders didn't just show up to Browns camp, he made the field tilt. Reports say he worked with the second-team offense, but faced the Browns' first-team defense, a group stacked with stars like Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward. It wasn't a full series or game-like script, just a few reps. But in that short window, he went 2 for 3 passing, added a rushing play, and looked calm doing it. The rookie didn't flinch, didn't force throws, and carried himself like he'd been there for years. Coaches noticed, veterans noticed, even the fans watching from afar could feel it. This wasn't hype. It was presence. When a young quarterback looks that poised against elite defenders in his first real NFL reps, people start connecting dots fast. That's why the moment blew up online. It wasn't about the stats, it was about what they implied. Sanders looked like he belonged, and in a franchise haunted by decades of quarterback chaos, that's all it takes to spark a storm of belief that maybe, just maybe, Cleveland finally found its guy. When Myles Garrett reached out his hand to Shedeur Sanders, it wasn't just a greeting, it was a signal. In NFL locker rooms, gestures like that carry their own language. A slow, deliberate handshake from a veteran of Garrett's stature isn't handed out to every newcomer. It's a nod that says, "We see you." Players notice that kind of thing immediately. To them, it means this rookie isn't just another camp arm. He's someone who carries himself like he belongs. What made the moment even louder was how natural it felt. Garrett didn't do it for cameras, and Sanders didn't seem starstruck. It looked like mutual recognition between two athletes who understood the gravity of the moment. Then came Jeudy, smiling, chatting, leaning in like he'd just met his next quarterback. That's when fans online turned a handshake into a headline. It might sound small, but in a league built on confidence and perception, these unspoken moments can shift an entire narrative. Veterans don't hand out approval lightly, and when they do, the rest of the locker room listens. To the fans, it looked like the torch quietly passing. To the Browns, It was a reminder that sometimes the most important plays happen long before the season even starts. Shedeur Sanders didn't just walk into Browns camp as another rookie hoping for a shot. He arrived as a fully formed brand, a business in cleats. Long before he threw a single NFL pass, he had already mastered what many veterans struggle to grasp: presence. From the NIL era at Colorado to national interviews and viral highlights, Sanders built himself like a startup, equal parts athlete, marketer, and storyteller. He wasn't just playing football, he was shaping a narrative. Every post, every handshake, every sideline clip felt intentional. By the time he landed in Cleveland, the hype wasn't just about potential. It was about proof of concept. His college tape showed poise under pressure, elite decision-making, and a calm that even NFL scouts couldn't ignore. Add to that his social media savvy, polished demeanor, and a fan base that treats every moment like a movement. And suddenly, this wasn't just another camp story. It was a cultural event. Veterans like Myles Garrett and Jeudy could feel it. The energy shifted when he stepped on the field. He didn't demand respect, he drew it naturally. In an era where players are their own platforms, Sanders represents the next evolution of the quarterback, one who commands both the huddle and the headline. His brand isn't arrogance, it's architecture, built brick by brick through discipline, charisma, and an instinct for timing. The Browns might see him as a developmental piece, but make no mistake, Shedeur is already operating like a franchise, and that's what makes this moment so powerful. He's not waiting for validation from a coach or a front office. He's already built the kind of presence that forces them to pay attention. In today's NFL, where image and influence can change careers overnight, Shedeur Sanders isn't chasing the spotlight. He is the spotlight. Cleveland's front office suddenly finds itself in a situation it didn't plan for. A fan base falling head over heels for a quarterback who technically isn't even theirs yet. The buzz around Shedeur Sanders has turned from curious optimism to full-blown obsession. Fans are already designing mock jerseys, editing highlight reels, and talking like his nameplate is already on a locker in Berea. That kind of energy is contagious and dangerous. Because once a fan base believes it's seen the future, anything less feels like a mistake. Inside the building, things are more complicated. Coaches and executives have spent years searching for stability at the most important position in sports, cycling through more than 30 quarterbacks in 2 decades. They finally thought they had a plan. And then Sanders showed up and flipped the mood overnight. It wasn't just his talent that stirred the room. It was the way veterans reacted to him. When respected players like Myles Garrett and Jeudy treat a young prospect like he's already one of them, front offices start paying attention. The Browns now face a dilemma that's both thrilling and terrifying. Do they lean into the momentum and start building around this kid early? Or do they stay patient and risk watching someone else reap the rewards? Every decision from this point forward will be judged through that lens. And in a franchise that's spent decades haunted by what-ifs, this moment feels different. There's a sense that they might actually be standing at the beginning of something real, if they're bold enough to act. Because in Cleveland, hesitation has always been the most expensive play in the book. Rumors around the league are swirling, and everyone's asking the same question. What happens next with Shedeur Sanders? Reports suggest the Browns are quietly debating how far to lean into the hype. On one hand, they see a composed, marketable, and confident young quarterback who already commands veteran respect. On the other, they know how dangerous it is to rush a player before he's truly ready. That's the tightrope Cleveland is walking, between patience and momentum, between development and destiny. Some insiders claim the Browns might expand Sanders' role during preseason scrimmages, testing how he handles real pressure. Others believe rival teams are already watching closely, wondering if Cleveland will hesitate long enough for someone else to swoop in. It wouldn't be the first time the franchise watched future greatness slip through its fingers. History has a cruel way of repeating itself here. Fans, of course, aren't waiting for front office strategy. They've already anointed Sanders the chosen one. Social media is filled with mock-ups of him in Browns colors, edit after edit proclaiming QB1. The hype machines running faster than the playbook can keep up. But make no mistake, this isn't just fan fantasy. Shedeur's presence has real weight. When a rookie can shift locker room chemistry and ignite a city still scarred from decades of quarterback heartbreak, that's not coincidence. It's a signal. Cleveland has a choice to make. Act before the rest of the league does, or once again, watch the future walk away. Cleveland has been here before, standing at a crossroads, one decision away from either rewriting history or reliving it. The city has seen quarterback after quarterback come and go, each one sold as the answer, each one fading into another chapter of almost. But this time, it feels different. When Shedeur Sanders walked into Browns camp, something shifted, not just in the locker room, but in the entire energy of the franchise. Players noticed it first. Myles Garrett's handshake wasn't just respect, it was recognition. Jeudy's reaction wasn't casual, it was chemistry. And soon after, the fans followed, turning a quiet practice moment into a viral movement. The front office can pretend it's business as usual, but they know better. Every highlight clip, every social post, every insider report adds pressure. The whispers are growing louder. Is Shedeur already the future, and will the Browns realize it before it's too late? That's the unspoken tension running through the organization right now. Because in today's NFL, talent is only half the story. Timing is everything. Wait too long and momentum disappears. Move too early and expectations crush potential. For Cleveland, the real test isn't whether Sanders can throw another perfect spiral. It's whether the franchise can finally recognize the right moment when it's staring them in the face. This isn't about hype anymore. It's about direction. The Browns can either seize the rare spark of excitement that's electrified their fan base or let it slip away, just like so many before. One thing's certain, the NFL moves fast, and the spotlight moves faster. Shedeur Sanders has already captured both without even starting a game. Now, the question isn't whether he's ready for Cleveland. It's whether Cleveland is ready for him. And in a city that's spent decades chasing its football savior, the future might have already walked through the door, smiling, shaking hands, and waiting for them to notice.